Hello, welcome to our project, Bitbid. Bitbid is a website that facilitates auctions on various items using Bitcoin. For the purpose of development, we also allow virtual money transactions. The key features we developed in the project are user registration, individual views for sellers and buyers, and most importantly, the settlement logic. At this time, Bitbid supports an auction settlement system called All Pay Auction. More on that at the end. We use Google Authentication Provider for managing our users. There are two types of users on our website, buyers and sellers. As the name suggests, a seller is someone who wants to put up items for auction, and a buyer is someone who wants to buy those items. Every user will have a wallet associated with their profile. The user can view the wallet balance from the profile page. He will also be able to top up the wallet balance from the profile page. Note that a seller cannot be a buyer or vice versa. The idea is to have separate accounts for both sellers and buyers. This design choice was based on the client's requirements. The seller's interface will show the auction block, which will list all the current items for sale. The seller will have the ability to create a new auction. The terms of the auction include setting the item value, base price, auction period, and more. The buyer will have the ability to bid on one or more active auctions. The buyer can only add upon his bids, but he cannot delete a bid. The items also display information on the highest bid and the corresponding highest bidder. The settlement logic in the all-pay auction model states that every bidder pays their share regardless of whether they win. The highest bidder wins the auction, but everyone pays their share. The time frame for any given auction will be a minimum of 1 hour and a maximum of 3 days. An item is only available until its listed close date, after which the settlement will be triggered and the wallets of all the participants will be adjusted accordingly. This is an overview of the user journey. When a new user registers on our website using Google Authentication, he will be prompted to enter information on whether he plans to be a buyer or a seller. If the user is a seller, he will be taken to the seller's view of the auction block. The seller will then be presented with an option to add new items for auction. If the user is a buyer, he will be taken to the buyer's view of the auction block. The buyer will be able to make bids on the items. When an item is no longer available for auction, it will be processed for settlements. During the settlement process, the wallets corresponding to the participants will either be credited or debited accordingly. Every user will be able to view their updated wallet balance from their profile page. The profile page will additionally allow a user to top up his wallet. A user can choose to either add virtual money or use real cryptocurrency like Bitcoins to top up his wallet. For the cryptocurrency option, we make use of Coinbase's payment API. We'll talk about it in detail in the following demo. We also acknowledge that there are many things that are required to make the website production ready. These includes features such as the option to choose different auction models, standardizing payments, third-party crypto wallet additions, and a cron job for settlements.
Um, so as soon as the users come on our website, they will be presented with this page where they have the option to register as new users. So they can click on the sign up button that we see here. And for registering users and logging in users, we have made use of the Google API authentication. So I will choose one of my Google accounts in order to register into my Bitbid account. So as you can see, once the user enters his credentials, he will be presented with this page where he is allowed to enter the username. So I'm going to enter this as seller. And he should also choose a user type between the buyer and the seller. I'm going to choose the seller. And he also has the option to upload a profile picture. So I'm going to upload my profile picture and I can get started. And as you can see, I can navigate to the profile section here on seller. And I see that my profile picture has been uploaded successfully. And it has also picked up my first name and the last name from the Google account. And it has also mentioned the username as seller1. And as you can see, the wallet balance here is 0 at the moment. So this is all about the profile section here. So we can navigate to the auction block for a seller, and we see that there are particularly two auctions. So one is ongoing auction since the end date is sometime in the future, and the other items auction is yet to be opened because the start date is sometime in the future. So as you can see that there is no option for the seller to bid on the active item. This is because the seller only has the ability to create a new item to sell that item. So let's get started with creating a new item. So I can click on the create new item and I'll be presented with a form to set the terms of the auction here. So it asked me to enter the item name. I'm going to enter this as watch and I'm going to choose the image of the watch that I have to sell, and I can enter the description of the item, which is the watch. So I'm going to enter this as this is a watch, and I can also enter the item's value. This is the value that the winner of this auction is going to get. So I'm going to enter this as 100. And the base price is going to dictate what is going to be the starting price for this auction. I'm going to enter this as 20. And it also asked me to enter an increment amount. I can enter this as 10. So increment amount is basically dictates the minimum bidding price from the current highest bid for a particular item. So if a particular item has the current highest bid of 20, then and setting the increment amount to 10 for that particular auction is going to enable buyers to set the next minimum bid as 20 plus an increment amount of 10, which is 30. And then the seller also has to mention the starting date at which the auction is going to open. So as you can see, it cannot be a time sometime in the past. It can obviously be a sometime in the future or at present. So I'm going to choose the time at present, 8:33 p.m. And I should also set the end time for the auction. So I can set this to a time 72 hours from the starting time at which the auction is going to be open. So I'm going to set this as 8:37 p.m. and I can just upload this. I'm going to wait. As you can see, this watch item is now open for bidding. As you can see, there are no bidders right at the moment, so the highest bid is null. And there are the description of the watch is also mentioned here. So I can log out from my seller's view. I will log in as an existing buyer of Bitbid. So I will choose again my Google account to log in, but this is going to be an existing account of a Bitbid, so it's not going to ask me to register again. So as you can see, I'm in the buyer's view of the website. So as you can see, um, I can see all the items that are active for bidding and are yet to be opened. So this is common across both sellers and buyers. So as you can see, the buyer has the ability to bid on items. So I'll go ahead and bid on the watch that was just uploaded. So the minimum price that I can bid for now is going to be 30. It cannot be anything less than 30 because the increment amount was 10 and the base amount was 20. So I can submit my bid and the item is still active for bidding, which means I can bid any number of times until it's active. So I'll go ahead and increase my amount to 40 and submit the bid. So at 8:40 p.m., sorry, at 8:37 p.m., this is going to end. So I'll have to wait until then to see the settlement logic in action. So before that, let's go ahead and check our wallet balance. It is 0. So if at all I win this auction, I have to get the whole amount of the item's value. So let's wait for the auction to end. So once the end date has been reached, we can refresh this page and we see that the item is no longer listed in the auction block because the auction no longer is active. So we can go to the profile section to see the bids placed by the bidder. And we see that the bidder has actually bid for this watch since we did that. And the status is now closed. Since this buyer one bid for this watch and he was the highest bidder for this item, he's going to win this watch. So we see that in the wallet balance getting reflected to the item's value, which was 100, and he also loses the amount of money that he bid for, which was 40. So the net wallet balance is going to be 100 minus 40, which is 60. So this is how the settlement logic works, and we can also see the wallet balance getting reflected on the seller's account. So let's go ahead and check his account. We see that his wallet balance is now 40 because he accrues the total amount bid by all the bidders. Since there was only one bidder and the bid was $40, he gets that value. But if there were multiple bidders for that particular item, the seller is going to get all the total bids accrued across all the bidders, since this is an all pay auction. So we can go to the home page and we can check out the option to add money. So we can click on add money, which enables users to add money into their wallet. So as we can see, we have added two particular ways to add money. We can deal with fake money by entering, say, some random number, and we can click on submit. And our wallet balance is going to get updated to 140 now. And then similarly, we can also add money into account using some real form of currency. So for the scope of our project was limited to dealing with fake money for version 1.1. Since we had some time, we also explored the option to accept crypto payments into our website. Since Bitbid is going to be an auction website dealing with Bitcoin, we thought we could give this a try, even though it was not in the scope of our project this semester. So we can enter the amount of Bitcoin the user wishes to add, for example, 0.005, and we can click on submit. So we have integrated Coinbase Commerce as a third-party website to accept crypto payments on behalf of us. So as you can see, whatever the details the user had entered, whatever the value of BTC that he wanted to add to his wallet is now reflected in the Coinbase Commerce website. And he can choose to pay with his Coinbase wallet directly, or he can choose to pay with a Bitcoin wallet that he already has. So I'm going to go ahead and select the Bitcoin option. So the user is going to be presented with a unique wallet address at which the user can make the payment. So the payment can happen asynchronously, meaning that the user can close this window and continue to use the Bitbid website and make the payment anytime within 60 minutes from the time this wallet address was shown to him. So we can also go ahead and cancel this payment, and upon canceling the payment, he will be redirected back to the Bitbid website. So if at all he chooses to make this payment at some point in time within this window time, then the Coinbase Commerce will let the Bitbid website know asynchronously, and it is during that time that we actually update his wallet balance. So for the sake of the demo, I'll go ahead and cancel this payment. So as we can see, we landed back on the profile page on Bitbid website, and as we can see, the wallet balance has remained the same from what it was before. So in this way, we accommodate two types of users on Bitbid, one being sellers and the other being buyers. And we also handle the settlement logic and other things like we just showed. Thank you.